Hey guys, what's up? It is Nathan here, and today I'm doing a review on the Adventure Force Jurassic Pro. I'm really excited. So the Jurassic Pro is a bolt-action, spring-powered, pro-level blaster. It is compatible with both the full-length darts and the half-length darts with an adapter. I really do like the way it works, and I really enjoy it. Now, it's very fun. It's very much just, in this configuration at least, it reminds me of the Aeon Pro. Feels like kind of like a bolt-action Aeon Pro. And it's obviously bolt-action means it's a little slower to fire, but it's really cool. Now, the other side of things though is you can take, as you saw in the intro, you can take the stock, which has a little mosquito thing on it, and you can put it on through the grip, and to remove it, you just push these two things on the sides and it pulls out, and it also makes the grip a little sturdier. And then it also has a barrel with a thing that you can put on the end. I actually don't particularly like that because, once again, I'm not a particularly big fan of Jurassic World or Jurassic Park for that matter. Just not my thing. But the blaster looks really good, and I know that this looks very, very similar to what they have in the film because I've seen pictures of them, and it looks really cool. It has just a standard bolt-action prime with a priming handle that can unthread over to the other side for right or left-handed shooters. And in order to fire, you just prime back, put the mag in, pull it, and then prime it forward, and then pull the trigger to fire. So it's very similar to something like the other Pro blasters, such as the Nexus Pro. It's actually very similar to the Nexus Pro in a lot of respects, except Nexus Pro is pump action, and the Jurassic Pro is not. So it's very, very similar to that. And one of the things that I actually realized when I first saw this blaster, and I'm sure a lot of you noticed it as well, is that it bears a striking resemblance to the long strike. It bears a very, very passing resemblance to the long strike, and the long strike is also bolt action. So I don't know, guys, figure out how to put these internals into a long strike. That'd be pretty damn cool. I almost said the F word, sorry. But this is a very, very cool blaster, and I'm not a big fan of the Jurassic World branding, but I completely understand. And the paint job is really cool otherwise, so I think it will be a very cool blaster to paint up either for cosplayers or for someone who just wants a very, very long, almost prophecy-like shell to do stuff with for modifications, because I'm sure this blaster can take pretty much anything that the Nexus or the Aeon can take, barring a few exceptions. And I'm really, really happy with this. This is a really, really cool blaster. Now, it is $65, and you're definitely paying the branding tax. Now, for me, I would always go with something like either a Nexus or a Dart Zone Max Striker. I actually really like the Max Striker's shell and ergonomics, actually, arguably a bit more than the Nexus. This is really cool for someone who doesn't really care about the pump action and just wants a really cool, like, sniper blaster, because it very much seems, at least to me, like the the successor to something like the Long Shot or the Long Strike, in the way that it's a very, very similar platform, but with a lot more options right out of the box. And it's very, very, very cool. And it looks very, very cool as well. And with the 2 attachments off, it reminds me, just personally, it reminds me of basically a bolt action Aeon Pro, and it's a very cool blaster. It's got some decent ergonomics. Now, without the stock, it feels kind of it feels less comfortable, but even putting the stock back on, this is basically a stock Long Strike. I mean, like in terms of length, like without the barrel. So it's very, very cool, and it gets very good performance. Full darts over the chronograph, it was getting between, I think the lowest I got was 138, and that wasn't because of the blaster, that was because of the dart. I think the dart was just bad, and then the highest I got, and this was all with Adventure Force Pro darts, and I was getting, with full darts, it was, the lowest I got was actually like 132, and the highest I got was, I think, 141. With half darts, it was a lot more consistent, as is expected. I was getting consistently between 145 and 149, I think, was the highest I got. So that was very good. And so this is such a cool blaster, and it has a safety, as is expected, right here. This is safe, this is fire. So it's very, very cool. It's got a real steel looking optic and a flip down sight. And it's a very, very cool blaster. Now, I hope they release this in another skin that doesn't have the Jurassic Pro branding or the Jurassic World branding on it. But this was specifically made as a tie-in product for Jurassic World Dominion. So it's still very cool, and I'm sure, I mean, you can obviously solve this with paint, but I absolutely love the blaster. Not a particularly big fan of the paint job, but that's just because I'm not a particularly big fan of that franchise. So if that doesn't bother you, then I absolutely think this is a very good price for a blaster like this. It's still a little more expensive than stuff like the Nexus Pro, and certainly more expensive than the Aeon Pro, but it's very unique. For the people who want a sniper rifle, and people who love sniper rifles, really dig their sniper rifles. I'm not really a sniper rifle guy, so I can't really relate, but it's a really cool blaster, and so I highly recommend it, and definitely look into it if it interests you. Now, I do have some things that I don't like, though. Now, one of the things I don't particularly like about the Jurassic Pro is the bolt. It's very heavy, obviously, because it's firing a lot, but bolt action blasters firing very, very heavily, stuff like the Prophecy and stuff, just personally, especially for a kid, this is not going to be as easy to prime than, say, the Nexus. I'd say in terms of like not having a great prime, my Nexus just fell. I'd say this probably has the worst of the ones that has come out, which, I mean, it's not saying it's bad by any means. I've seen a bunch of other blasters that have worse primes than this, but this and the Aeon have really difficult primes depending on who's using them. For small children, and this is made for people 14 and up, so it's not really a big deal, but something worth noting. Now, the other problem I had was stock, when you prime it, even though there's this much goes into the grip, when you prime it off your shoulder, I kind of feel this bending and tweaking like this. And so that's a problem. But other than that, I mean, it's a very, very minor issue. And I figured it was just worth noting. With a blaster like this, especially, it can be prevalent if you prime it, you know, like a lot. So I just wanted to explain that. But I mean, other than that, it's a great blaster, and I definitely do recommend this. So what do you guys think of the Adventure Force Jurassic Pro? Let me know in the comments below. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you want a different unbranded version for like 50 bucks? Which would be awesome in my opinion, but that's just my opinion. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this. I would like to thank you all very much for watching this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Comment what you think and what you would like to see next. I'm always taking suggestions, and I will see all of you guys later. Bye.